Herbert Schneider and I were the establishers of this church and congregation. His dreams of a church dedicated to people, not a dogma or creed, were behind all that took place. We are celebrating the continuing of those dreams and the dreams of countless others.
The thing I remember most about my dad is he always wanted to be a minister. My grandmother used to tell a story about him when he was a little boy, putting his father's collars on backwards, lining up chairs and preaching to them in the yard.
We set out to fulfill those dreams in October 1943. We were a young couple, too poor in post-Depression years to own our own car. Herb's dad loaned us his car to explore Studio City. In the middle of the 12,200 block, we found a for rent sign in the window. We peered in. I saw no possibilities in it at all. But mine was not the vision. Herb saw in the long, narrow room the traditional church shape he had in mind. We had found the first home of the Unity Church of Studio City.
I'll forget my sins, yes, I'll be making new friends where the west begins and the sunset ends. 'Cause I've decided where yours truly really ought to be, and it's the San Fernando Valley for me.
Our newspaper ads listed a Sunday school at 9:30 and church services at 11. We were there bright and early, and no one came to Sunday school. However, at last, just before 11, a woman came, then another and another, until at 11 o'clock there were 10 people there. Our friend Jeanette Kirkpatrick, who had volunteered her services as pianist, struck up the first hymn, and we were on our way.
They were a team. The thing that I always remember about both of them is they were equal partners in the church.
My mother bolstered him and kept him focused on his dream.
My dad was gentle, he was kind, and he was thoughtful. And those are the things that I remember the most about my father and how he treated everyone with care. He was always just a dynamic person, and to see him get ill and to see the decline was difficult.
That was a terrible time for my family. It was a very hard time for the church.
Everything can be taken from a human being, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. With the kindling of this flame, we reaffirm our gifts with grace and with gratitude, and to use them in the spirit of love.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
What drew me in to this church community was the ease with which it had all of the generations.
We are blessed by the goodness and beauty of life.
For the gifts of life and love, we give thanks. Thank you, Spirit of God.
We are blessed as adults and children for the human family.
For sharing our lives in this church community, we give thanks. Thank you, Spirit of God.
We are are blessed in sharing a tradition and a vision of human good.
For hands joined in peace and justice, we give thanks.
Historically, this congregation, even back when it was a unity church, has always emphasized religious education. We have people in our history like Sylvia Nichols, who really dedicated a lot of her time and energy into creating fun learning environment, creating a nice park for the kids to play in, a garden.
I started going to the Unitarian-Universalist Church of Studio City when I was 3 years old. Growing up in a UU church, you're really encouraged to speak your mind and to figure out what your opinions are on things and to be part of the conversation and not just to listen and be told this is how it is and that's how it is, but more let's have a discussion. And I think that that's valuable for a child to feel heard and feel encouraged to speak up instead of just being an observer.
Dusty trails can lead you to a golden road. I've been told. Can't remember who it was or all she spoke. With a penny for her thoughts, she'd leave me broke. 'Cause everyone's around, I'm still alone. Everyone's around right now and I'm still alone.
It was an amazing moment in a parent's life to watch their child give sermons at a very early age in the pulpit at the UU Church of Studio City. She was saying, I'm tired of hearing everybody say to us young people that the future is in our hands. She challenged us. She said, the future's still in your hands too. People were really taken by that. And they were talking about it years afterwards, that she made them uncomfortable in their seats because they were thinking, you teenagers are now going to have to take this baton.
It's less about what you believe to be factual and, you know, what the answer is, and a little bit more about the question, if that makes sense. A little bit more about finding your own truth and having this loving, supporting community around you as you do so to kind of keep you accountable and also support you.
Good morning, lovely people. How are you doing? We've got a committee forming back here, it looks like.
UUCSC is a remarkable community that manages to create an intimate and loving and welcoming community that feels like a small town church right in the middle of one of the largest urban landscapes in the world.
Our church has substance and has heart. People know each other, they talk to each other, they validate each other, they appreciate each other, and they go forward together.
It's a wacky community. And that wasn't something we were looking for, but when we found it, we thought, this is great, because we tended to be serious people, and it brought out the non-serious part of us.
What I get out of our church community is community and love, and people who I don't necessarily have a one-on-one relationship with everyone there, but I know that I would stand up for that person and they would stand up for me.
The diversity that exists in the Unitarian and Universalist traditions always had its challenges. I think of the minister as a translator. It's as if you walk into a room in which 10 different languages are being spoken, and you need to have some fluency in all of them in order to help people understand what one another are saying.
In the future, if we do a good job, the continuity with our past will still be there. That will be exactly those things. It will be children and adults who are kind and loving and caring, who are engaged with the world in a way that seeks mutual affirmation and mutual liberation.
We encourage everyone on their spiritual path, whether that's Jewish, more pagan, more humanist, atheist, the list goes on. And even though that sounds like we're all on different paths, the same path that we're all on are the values of understanding that we really are the closest to the holy and experience the divine when we're in service to others and working to make the world a more peaceful, more just place. And we really offer that sense of community. Spirituality is something you might do by yourself, but religion is something you do in community, in covenant, in relationship with one another, and that's what Unitarian Universalism has to offer.